Factoring polynomials. Factor completely. Number 1, 9x squared y to the power of 4 z to the power of 8 minus 27xy cubed z to the power of 4. What is the greatest common monomial factor? For 9 and 27, it's 9. X squared and x is x. Y to the power of 4 and y to the power of 3 is y to the power of 3. Z to the power of 8 and z to the power of 4 is z to the power of 4. To find the other factor, just divide each of the terms by the greatest common monomial factor. 9 divided by 9 is 1. X squared divided by x is x. Y to the power of 4 divided by y to the power of 3 is y. Z to the power of 8 divided by z to the power of 4 is z to the power of 4. 27xy cubed z to the power of 4 divided by 9xy cubed z to the power of 4 is 3. The other factor is xy z to the power of 4 minus 3. Number 2, 5 is common to both terms. Divide each term by 5. The other factor is m squared minus y squared. This is difference of two squares. This is equal to 5 times the quantity m plus y times the quantity m minus y. 16x squared minus 1 is in the form difference of two squares. This is equal to the square root of each term and write in the form sum and difference of two terms. Quantity 4x plus 1 times the quantity 4x minus 1. 25x squared minus 36y squared is also a perfect square. Find the square root of each term and write in the form sum and difference of two terms. The quantity 5x plus 6y times the quantity 5x minus 6y. Number 5 is a perfect square trinomial. The middle term is just twice the product of the square root of the first term and the third term. This is equal to a square of a binomial. The square root of 1 is 1 plus the square root of x squared is x. Number 6 is also a perfect square trinomial. The first term is a perfect square. The third term is also a perfect square. The middle term is just twice the product of the square root of the first term and the square root of the second term. The factor is just the square root of 49x squared, which is 7x, minus square root of 64 is 8. The square of 7x minus 8. Number 7 is a general trinomial where the numerical coefficient of x squared is equal to 1. To factor, think of two numbers that will give you a product of negative 12 and a sum of 1. 4 and negative 3. The factors are x plus 4 and the quantity x minus 3. Number 8 is also a general trinomial where x squared has a numerical coefficient of 1. The factor, think of two numbers that will give you a product of 35 and a sum of 12. The factors are the quantity x plus 7 and the quantity x plus 5. Number 9 is a general trinomial where the coefficient of x squared is greater than 1. Let's use the AC method in factoring. 4 times 15 is 60. Then think of two numbers that will give you a product of 60 and a sum of 16. 60 is equal to 6 times 10. 6 plus 10 is 16. This is equal to 4x squared plus 10x plus 6x plus 15. Group the first two terms together and the next two terms together. The CMF, the first group is 2x and the other factor is 2x plus 5 plus the CMF of the next group is 3 and the other factor is 2x plus 5. Note that 2x plus 5 is common. Factor out 2x plus 5 and the other factor is 2x plus 3. Number 10 is another general trinomial with a greater than 1. So multiply 15 and 12. 15 times 12 is equal to 180. Then think of two numbers that will give you a product of 180 and a sum of negative 29. 180 is equal to negative 20 times negative 9. This is equal to 12x squared minus 20x minus 9x plus 15. Group the first two terms together and the next two terms together. The CMF of the first group is 4x. The other factor is 3x minus 5 minus the CMF of the next group is 3 and the other factor is 3x. 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5 minus 5. Note that 3x minus 5 is common. Factor out 3x minus 5 and the other factor is the quantity 4x minus 3. Number 11 is a polynomial of the form sum of two cubes. This is equal to the sum of the base. Using the first factor, square the first term, then write the opposite of the product of the first term and second term, then square the second term. Number 12 is also polynomial of the form sum of two cubes. 27 is a perfect cube. 64 is also a perfect cube. This can be written as the cube of the quantity 3m plus the cube of the quantity 4n. And this is equal to the sum of the base 3m plus 4n, and using this factor, square the first term, 9m squared, multiply the first term with the second term, this is 12mn, write the opposite, minus 12mn plus the square of 4n, 16n squared. Number 13, 2x cubed minus 686y cubed. In this case, you have to find the common monomial factor first, which is 2. The other factor is x cubed minus 3, 4, 3, y cubed. Note that the other factor is a difference of 2 cubes. 3, 4, 3 is 7 cubed. So this is equal to 2 times the quantity x cubed minus the quantity 7y cubed. This is difference of 2 cubes. This is equal to 2 times, copy the difference of the base, x minus 7y, and using this factor, find the first term, x squared, then you multiply x and negative 7y, 7xy, write the opposite. So this is plus 7xy, then negative 7y times negative 7y is 49 y squared. Number 14 is a polynomial with 4 terms. This can be factored by grouping. Group the first 2 terms together and the next 2 terms together. The CMF of the first group is m, and the other factor is x squared minus y squared, plus the CMF of the next group is x, and the other factor is x squared minus y squared. Note that x squared minus y squared is common. Factor out x squared minus y squared. The other factor is m plus x. But you can still factor x squared minus y squared. This is difference of 2 squares. This is then equal to x plus y times the quantity x minus y times the quantity m plus x. Number 15 can be factored also by grouping. Group the first 2 terms together and the next 2 terms together. The CMF of the first group is 1, so this can be written as b cubed plus c cubed minus the CMF of the next group is A, and the other factor is B cubed plus C cubed. Note that B cubed plus C cubed is common. Factor out B cubed plus C cubed. And the other factor is 1 minus A. Note that B cubed plus C cubed is a sum of two cubes, and the factors are B plus C times the quantity B squared minus BC plus C squared times the quantity 1 minus A.